Hello and welcome back once again to After the Credits. Today we're talking about Cars 3. So what did I think of Cars 3? Honestly, this is the sequel that Cars 2 should have been. Although Cars 2, I kind of understand why they didn't make this the sequel. But at the same time, you don't need to have seen Cars 2 to watch this one. If you've seen Cars 1, you can go straight into this one without seeing Cars 2, and you'll be fine. Honestly, I watched Cars 2 once, and I don't remember anything about it other than they were on an international Grand Prix tour, and Mater somehow became a secret agent, so it was more of a Mater movie than it was a Lightning movie. But this is actually a full-on continuation of where Cars 1 would have naturally progressed to go. So, basically, in this movie, Lightning McQueen has had a successful run, and he's kind of the star of Rusty's and everything, and there's still the guy from Dynaco who's like, I'll sign you any day you want to sign, and so on and so forth. And then it slowly becomes there's a new rookie sensation. And then there starts to be more and more rookies that are faster, more aerodynamic, all this stuff. And all the old racers slowly start to go away until Lightning's the only one left still holding on to the dream. All the others have retired. And Lightning just doesn't see himself as being that old yet, and he thinks he can still push himself to be the top guy still. And it's kind of just his coming to the realization that as much as he doesn't want to admit that he's washed up, he's kind of washed up. So, Rusty's gets bought out by this guy who basically wants to make Lightning McQueen a brand. He's like, you're retired, let's just cash in on your name and what you've done. And every day you're still out on the track and you lose and lose and lose. It damages your reputation of who you were. And, it damages your brand of us cashing in on your name, where instead of you being the hero who knew when to retire, and people still love you, you're now becoming the has-been who didn't know when to step down and has just destroyed your reputation. So this guy's looking at it solely from a corporate standpoint of how a corporation would run with a brand, and Lightning's like, no, I'm just not ready to do that yet. Let me work on it a little bit, see if I can improve my speed, and then I'll race the first race of the thing. If I win, I decide when I'm done racing. If I lose, then we'll put your plan into effect and just do the brand thing. So the guy gives all of his resources to let Lightning train to see if he can possibly pull it off. And he assigns Lightning a trainer who, young girl, one of the better trainers in the industry, at least as far as the new ideas of training. But Lightning butts heads with her because she's kind of taking him baby steps, like when he's on the treadmill with all the other cars and they're doing 100, 170, she's got him on 5 miles an hour or something. And he's like, why don't we just put me on the simulator and see how I do? And she's like, no, you're not ready for the simulator yet. Let's just start off slow and work up to it. And he's getting more frustrated because she's treating him like he's an old man and he's going to break easily. And that's more what's irritating him, is that she's not understanding that aspect of what he wants, but he's not understanding the aspect of what she's trying to do because they're not really communicating with each other. So finally he's just like, screw it, I'm getting on the simulator, I don't care what you think. And he doesn't understand how the simulator works because he didn't ease up to it. So he ends up kind of destroying the simulator and injuring himself. So then he's like, I can't train in this facility, I need to be outside, get my tires dirty, whatnot. And she's like, okay, well, we can arrange that. But then she doesn't understand how to train him outside of a facility. So he ends up spending his entire first day just trying to teach his trainer how to keep up with him while running on a dirt track versus on a simulator or inside of a building on a proper racetrack. So he works with her more than she's working with him, and he's kind of getting irritated. He's like, I wasted my whole day trying to teach you how to keep up with me versus me actually focusing on training myself. And it just kind of progresses from there, and their relationship starts to build where she starts to get a new respect for him, he starts to get a new respect for her, and by the time it comes down to it, he starts to finally realize that even with all the training that he finally did, he goes back and gets help from some of the older guys, kind of like he did with Doc Hudson in the first one, where he got that older generation's training, taught him some new secrets of how to, stay fast and keep up with stuff, and some new tricks to pull out. He does all that, and he realizes that still he's improved, but he hasn't improved enough to keep up with the rookies. So he quickly starts to realize that maybe he is done, but he's going to run the last race anyway and see where it goes. And he finally gets to the point where after the first couple laps of the race, he realizes that he's done. He's not going to be able to keep up, but she has all the potential in the world to win this race. So he has her swap out with his number, so basically she becomes 95, and goes in and finishes finishes the race, and Lightning kind of becomes her pitman and starts like trying to guide her through the race because she's a rookie herself. This is her first major race, so he's kind of like, remember our training, remember this, and is kind of guiding her through it. He matures and takes over the role that Doc Hudson was for him, where he taught him how to race better, and he just kind of like steps into that mentoring role where she kind of becomes the new student and he's the teacher. And then by the end of the movie, he kind of steps down from Rusty's. He's like, whatever, I'm just going to go do my own thing. And, the new owner of Rusty's that's trying to do this corporate thing is like, well, you're still my brand, so I'm still going to cash in on your name. And Lightning's like, whatever, I don't care. And by the end, it ends up that the guy that owns Dynaco ends up buying out Rusty's so that guy has no real way of cashing in on Lightning's brand because the guy, Dynaco obviously offers him a lot more money than he'd ever make off the branding. And the guy from Dynaco's like, Lightning, you decide when you're done. If you want to be a mentor, be a mentor. If you still want to race, then go out there and race and have fun, whether you win or not. So Lightning realizes, yeah, I'm going to be more of the mentor role, but I'm not done racing yet either. I'll still get out on the track and just have fun and be myself or whatever. But for the most part, you're the star now, kid, and I'm just here to help you out. So that's kind of how it wraps up. And like I said, it's the normal progression of what would have happened with that story. Again, it's been done before in similar things. When you come to sequels, it's like, hey, I'm taking over the role that this person was for me and training the new person. It's been done before. Now it's being done in here. The reason I say that it's good that this wasn't the immediate sequel and that they did Cars 2 between Cars 1 and Cars 3 is that it gives you enough time in between for this stuff to have happened. Obviously it skips over a lot of time as the older cars start to retire and realize that they're no match for the rookies. And yeah, that's a small burst of time, but if you were to have that whole gap of Lightning was on top and then all this happened from Cars 1 to this being Cars 2, it would have seemed like too short of a period of time. So in Cars 1, you have Lightning established as this big name, big top drawer, and then he's so popular he's invited to the Grand Prix International thing in Cars 2, and you have that whole gap, that whole span of time, and now here we are in Cars 3, several years later, lots changed, and now you have all this kind of crashing down on Lightning. It makes more sense to have that big bubble in the middle of passage of time versus end of Cars 1 into Cars 3 in such a short gap because it would have seemed like too much too soon. So what would I give this one overall as far as a star rating? For being a sequel to the first Cars, it was good. Like I said, it wasn't an original story. Again, it's been kind of done before. But it fits and it accomplished what it was trying to accomplish. So I'm going to give it a 3.5. Like I said, it is a kids movie. It is a Pixar movie. Cars isn't one of their top properties, but being Cars 3, it picks up where Cars 1 would have left off, but Cars 2 leaving that bubble that you need. But you don't really need to see Cars 2 to go into this. If you watch Cars 1 and Cars 3, they're bookends of a story, but there is the gap in the middle, and that's filled in by Cars 2, which works. But you don't need to see Cars 2 to go into this. Like I said, it's not the best story. It's been done before. Cars isn't the biggest Pixar franchise. But for what it was, it fits. And it did its job, and it did it well. So for that, like I said, it's kind of a middle-of-the-road film. But it wasn't just a whatever type of film. It actually did its job. So for that, I'm going to give it a 3.5. Not quite a 4, because like I said, did we need it? No. Does it complete a story? Yes. But at the same time, it's still kind of middle of the road, but it doesn't deserve to be a 3. So it gets a 3.5. So that's it for this episode. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Links are down in the description. Click the bell up here in the corner. Make sure you get notifications every time I post new content. And until next time, we'll see you after the credits.